All right. Hey. It is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrence, the unstoppable Coach Lethbridge. And if it's Tuesday, then you know it's another episode of the Unstoppable Stories with Terrence Lethbridge, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. And hey, you were just listening to one of the instrumental tracks from my friend Lauren Harris. Lauren Harris, he is an artist, he's a singer, and he is the co-founder of the great event that we just did this past week called The Power of We, the Power of We Symposium that took place here at the Stan Mansion on September 20th. 250 kids came out and they were entertained, they were educated, and they were elevated to the next level of their greatness. They were able to be seen and to see things and hear things from speakers from all across the country that came of their own volition and volunteered their time and volunteered their message so that they could pour into the future of these kids, because we all recognize that these kids are our future. And we had such a great time. And as you can see right here, here's a picture of me and Lauren Harris at our masquerade mixer that we had that night, that I was so happy to be able to be a co-MC for the event with my lovely co-host Lee Min Haig. And it was fabulous. We got an opportunity to mix and mingle. We got an opportunity to be serenaded by a fabulous local talent by the name of Pia Renee, who you see on the screen right now. Pia Renee is a former American Idolist, and she did a phenomenal job. She even sang a couple of songs to your boy, or about your boy, but that's a whole nother conversation. But we had a phenomenal time at the Power of We. And if you missed it, then hey, 2019, you need to have your face in the place. We have already booked Atlanta, GA. So Atlanta, GA, April 2019, the Power of We is coming to your town. So get ready. We are coming to entertain, educate, and elevate the lives of the youth in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So we are looking forward to seeing you guys. We're looking forward to having the room filled, and we are looking forward to seeing pictures just like this of youth engaged with mentors and with entrepreneurs and with thought leaders who are willing and ready to pour into you so that you can be the future leaders that we need you to be. Because you understand that we are going through some times right now, and people my age, it may be a little too late for us, but we want to give our opportunity to pour back into you, knowing that you are going to be our future mayors, our future councilwomen and men, our future senators, our future congressmen and women, our future presidents, the people who are going to make a difference and who have the opportunity to shape this world. So if you know of anybody, whether they are a parent or whether they're a child in the Atlanta, Georgia area that needs the power of we, then we're looking to connect with them. So simply go to the Power of We Symposium, and I'm going to put that in the feed, Power of We Symposium.com, and you can see information from our event that took place just this past week, and you'll also be able to get information over the next couple of weeks on how you can get involved with the Power of We 2019. It is going to be fantastic. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be unstoppable. So as you know, I appreciate each and every one of you who come out on Tuesday night. I know you could be doing anything else in the world. You could be doing it any place else in the world. Hey, I just heard that there's a full moon tonight. You could be out with your camera and with your lovey-dovey with your sweetie watching the full moon tonight. but you decided that you wanted to get some quality programming and you wanted to hear some great stories. So thank you for watching here on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrence Leftridge. And come on in, swipe and share, swipe and share. I'm going to make sure that the link has gone out to a couple of more people before we get started. So just come on in. And again, I was mentioning Lauren Harris. That was his song, Turn Around, and you can get his information. It's on iTunes, it's on CD Baby, it's on Spotify, or you could simply just go to his website, laurenharris.com, to get more information about that great song. And we'll be playing it for the next couple of weeks on the Unstoppable Story Show. So again, thank you so much. Now, I've been struggling for the last 48 hours about what happened to me recently. And I already apologized to my guest in advance. We got a great guest for you tonight. But I think it's important for me to share my unstoppable story, because this is a story that hopefully nobody else ever has to share, but it's a testimony too, and hopefully it will inspire somebody else to share their testimony. This past Sunday afternoon, and I'm just speaking off the cuff, I didn't prepare this, I wasn't even sure if I was going to say it. This past Sunday afternoon, it was just a normal Sunday in Mr. Unstoppable's life. Was headed out to run some errands. Had just gotten in my car, and my neighbor pulled up alongside me, parked across the street from me. Didn't think anything of it. Again, I'm just getting settled in the car, getting ready to pull off. Then another truck pulls up in between my car and his car. Again, didn't think anything of it. But what happened next was a life-defining moment for me. Because the next thing I heard was blah, 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 blah. And the next thing I saw was my next door neighbor being shot and eventually killed that day. And I still feel some kind of way about that. I'm not gonna share his name or anything about the family, but just the fact that I saw that happen shocked me to my core. And it stopped me. Yeah, it actually stopped Mr. Unstoppable in his tracks. I didn't know what to do. The car pulled off, pulled away. Driver intentionally did what he did. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And while I'm sad and I'm devastated for my neighbor and for my neighbor's family, I've been feeling some kind of way, because I don't know whether to feel wrong or to feel grateful that that driver didn't look my way. And I'm thankful to God that he spared my life in a situation that could have gone 9 ways sideways if my neighbor had got out of the car, made it across the street onto the side of the street where I was, because clearly this guy was looking for him and was looking with intention to end his life that day. And I say that to say to you guys 2 things. Number one, you never know the day, the hour, the minute, the second that it'll be your time. And too many times we take that for granted as we go across our day-to-day activities. I'm just as guilty, and that's why I'm sharing this testimony, because it gave me a new perspective about being unstoppable. and being intentional about what I do each and every day, because I don't know, just like my neighbor didn't know. My neighbor just came back home, and probably in his mind it was a nice sunny Sunday afternoon as well, and he had no forethought, no inkling that that would be the last sunset that he would see. So I say to you, make every second count. You know, my buddy Jeff Markinet, he has that story. He has that mantra that says, make every second count, because you never know when it's going to be your last. Well, I'm a living testimony to that very same statement. Make every second count. And whatever purpose you were created for on this earth to fulfill, if you haven't taken steps to start that process, or if you're stuck in going through that process, or if you are afraid of that process, or if you are afraid of what it might require of you to sacrifice, or if you are afraid of what it may be, what it may mean to you if you are successful in fulfilling that purpose, cut it out. It's time out. It's time now to take that action. It's it just said to me that I definitely, God's not through with me yet. And he definitely wants me here to do something, because that driver could have as easily turned this way as he turned that way. And then there would be no show here tonight. It would be a completely different situation. And that's how quickly a second difference can make in your life. So those are two things. Make every second count. Whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, and it's holding you back from doing it, recognize that you may not have another second to do this. So start living your life right now. Start walking in your purpose right now, because it is so vitally important. And if you are still here today, and if you are still seeing me, and if you are still hearing the sound of my voice, then guess what? That just means God's not done with you yet either. And there's still something for you to do. And hopefully something that is said or something you hear on this show tonight will motivate you, will propel you, will excite you enough that you will want to take those steps to do what it is that you were created to do. And if you need help with doing that, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Let me share with you what's going on with me right now that's going to propel me to work even harder, to move even farther, to walk in my purpose. Because I just got a reminder, y'all. I got a reminder for it's my show. I got a reminder for my ass this weekend saying that, hey, stop slacking, stop sleeping, stop half stepping, go do what you were created to do. All right. I just had to get that off my chest. I had to say that. Hopefully that means something to somebody. Hopefully you will take that with the grace and the love that Mr. Unstoppable has for each and every one of you, and you will do something with it. You know who you are. You know what you need to do. You know what you're not doing. You know what you've been procrastinating with. You know what it is you should be doing. Make every second count, because you never know when it will be your last. All right. Okay. So we're gonna change the dynamics of the situation. We have another unstoppable guest for you tonight. He is somebody that I call a friend. He is somebody who's not only worked with me in business, he has been a sounding board for me in my personal life and on this unstoppable journey that we walk on as well. His name is Andre Taylor. of TaylorMade Solutions. And Andre is a digital marketing strategist who partners with small businesses to grow and further their brand. Andre knows what truly drives digital marketing and design success. But more importantly, like everybody who's on this show, he has an unstoppable story and a story that talks about going from lack into fulfillment. And somebody out there knows what I'm talking about going from lack into being fulfilled. So why don't we welcome to the show, and I apologize to him in advance, so he knows. Let's welcome up to the show my friend, my partner, my design strategist, the one, the only, Andre Taylor of TaylorMade Solutions. Andre, are you on the broadcast?
Yes, yes. Good evening, Mr. Unstoppable himself. How are you?
Hey, man! It is an unstoppable day. I'm a little yielded. I'm a little slow, but I'm not stopped. So that's the important thing. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us on the broadcast.
I'm happy to be here. I'm humbled, and again, thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
So you're one of those people that's out there looking for the full moon tonight. So you got this glow going on in the background. So we might need you to move up a little bit closer to the phone when you start speaking, because it looks beautiful and everything. But
Let me get the moon action
people
in the back.
see. All right, so let's jump right into it. So for our guests who may not know you, Andre, tell us a little bit about Andre Taylor.
Well, pretty simple. Very humble beginnings. Come from a place of poverty. Come from a place of lack, of course. Hence the theme. And in the words of Drake, started from the bottom, now we're here. And here meaning unstoppable. And
I
so,
love
where
it.
do I
I love it. I
begin?
love it. So you know what? Before you begin that, because it was a perfect segue. You coming from the bottom to the top, and that's what makes you unstoppable. But when you hear that word unstoppable, what does that mean to you?
So, when I think unstoppable, what that means or represents to me is that no matter what life throws at you, no matter what comes your way, no matter what difficulties or challenges like the one that you just dealt with on that past Sunday, no matter what happens, that you're able to still kind of pick yourself back up and continue to press forward without anything being able to stop you, essentially, in the pursuit of what it is that God has called you to do or who God has called you to be. That's kind of the short version. I like to always think about like a professional athlete that is playing in the Super Bowl, and they're out there and they might get that phone call like, your mother just got had a heart attack and she ended up in the hospital. That professional needs to have the wherewithal to continue to press forward even after getting knocked down. He's in the middle of the game. He's playing the Super Bowl. So he has to have enough tenacity, enough perseverance to say, you know what? Yeah, that's a tragedy that was dealt to me. That's something I didn't plan for or expect. But yet and still, I have a job to do. I have purpose. I have an assignment. And I'm going to continue in to complete that assignment no matter what. And to me, that is a touches on what it means for me to be unstoppable, to allow nothing to hold you back from what it is that you're called to do.
I love it. I love it. We are talking to Andre Taylor of TaylorMade Solutions. He's telling us his unstoppable story and talking to us about what it means to him to be unstoppable. So come on in, swipe and share, swipe and share. Thank you, Angel Williams, for the love. I
What up,
appreciate it.
Angel?
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick Artist. He says, fellas, thank you, Patrick. And he
Patrick,
says, hey,
what's going on?
Coach T, appreciate you. A lady, Rochelle Dotson Matheny, she said, amen. I believe she was talking about the
Lady
testimony
Rochelle,
that I had. Yes, thank you guys for watching.
absolutely.
Please go in and share this with other people. and let them know that we are live on the air right now as Andre is going to drop some nuggets on us as we move through the show. Hey, Jeremy Harris is watching. Thank you. Thank you so
Jay
much. Thank
Harris,
you so
what
much.
up?
Yes, indeed. Part of the TaylorMade Solutions family. Appreciate you. So you were saying earlier, you know, from the bottom to the top. So tell us about your unstoppable story. What and how? What was your bottom, and how you found your way through your journey to where you are right now.
Well, long story short, at the beginning part of my life, let's call it phase one, I basically got a lot of things wrong, or I messed a lot of things up essentially. So that's what I mean when I say lack. Relationally, lack. Financially, lack. I was broke. It just go down the list. From the stance of employment or a good job, there was lack. So everywhere that you could turn to in my life, there was a point of lack. But
So was it lack? Was it lack because you didn't have a job, or was it lack because you were working in a job that wasn't paying you what you needed? What do you think?
I believe lack is a mentality or a state of mind. So when I say lack, it means that I hadn't had things figured out. I didn't have the wherewithal, the right information, and if the information that I did have, perhaps I wasn't applying it or applying it in the right way. Which is, one of my favorite sayings is, knowledge is not power, because everybody
Absolutely.
like kind of goes with that cliche statement. And I say, no, applied knowledge is power.
It's
That
power.
it's not until you take it and you do something with it, then you'll see that transformation or things will improve in your life. So like I had a lot of people around me. I had family, I had friends, people that love and care about me, and they telling me, Andre, you need to do this, or this is the right way to go. But you know how you hear something, but it don't really sink in, like like you heard it, but you didn't really hear it. Like
Right.
I believe that if you really heard me or you really have understanding, then there will be action based on the information that you receive. So that's how I look at true understanding. If you know better, you'll do better. You'll make the right decision. You'll make the right choice to do what it is that you need to do in order to be successful or deal with whatever you're dealing with. So like going backwards, I heard like the information is always around us. The opportunity is always around us. We're just not able to access it because we truly don't get it. We truly don't understand. And for a lot
Love.
of people, if you're like me, the point I had to get to gain understanding was what I call a little place called rock bottom.
Yeah, I think I'm familiar with that place. Yeah.
So some people got it better than me. They bump their knee, they skin their elbow, and they're like, okay, I'm back on track. No, for me, I had to kind of get like really low, what I'm saying, in order to like things to just click and say, okay, this isn't the right thing for me. This isn't what
So
I should be
let me
doing. It's
ask
not
you,
how I should be
because I
living.
don't want our audience to miss this. And again, you can share as much or as less as you feel comfortable sharing. This is all love here. But rock bottom, even though it's a place that a lot of people are familiar with, for each individual, rock bottom looks a little different than somebody else. So paint a picture for us. What did rock bottom look like for Andre Taylor?
Rock bottom looked like broken relationships. My relationship with my parents, my relationship with my sister, just not having good, healthy relationship with friends. That was one thing. I think relationally, that is such a huge part of the dynamic of our lives that I think sometimes it's kind of overlooked and underestimated. So relationally, my relationships were jacked up. Like whether it's like we didn't see eye to eye, fighting, arguing, disappointments, lack of trust. So relationally, lack, like rock bottom. Another area was financially, like working consistently, being able to, handle my responsibilities financially. This total lack, not making the right decisions, not keeping a budget, you know, all the things that go into making that a reality for you. Those poor decisions surrounding that. So financially, lack, you know, didn't know what to do with money, how to do it. From another standpoint, you know, I was in a place where it's like, okay, let's party all the time, you know. And so I was in like party mode. So it's like, oh, drink, or just get high or do whatever, you know. So from that standpoint, lack as well. So, you know, from a shelter standpoint, I got to a place where I was basically homeless. And so now I don't even have a place really to call home. You know, I'm messing up that bad. So when I say rock bottom, like all these areas combined kind of were just taxing on me
Wow.
simultaneously. It's like a
How
downward
old were,
spiral.
how old were you at the time that you hit rock bottom?
Well, things really start probably getting rough for me. The roughest maybe around 16 years old, actually.
Wow.
And
That's
it took
early.
a, yeah, you know, I became a teenage parent. Um, so, you know, the mother of my child was pregnant by the time I was like 17. You know, I became a high school dropout. So everything was just spinning out of control through and through, you know, hanging with the wrong people, wrong influences, that kind of stuff. So I hope that really kind of, I don't want to go into
Yeah,
any more
yeah,
additional details. That's
that's
a
fine.
different conversation, right?
I appreciate that. And when you while you were telling that story, I was like, man, Andre should have been talking to these kids last week at the Power of We. So you know, that story may be a lot of our current teenagers' reality. You know, they may just be going into rock bottom for the first time and not even know that that place exists called rock bottom. But to hear your story and to hear the rest of the story that you're going to tell us, it goes back to what we always say. You know what? If I can do it, then you can do it too. And you
Absolutely.
have done it, and you're going to explain how you've been able to come from rock bottom up back up to the top, and in the midst of all of that, you remained unstoppable. So I love it. I love it. I love it. And we're gonna have to do some conversating on the back end after the show and see how we can get you to
Absolutely.
really tell that story to people who are definitely waiting to hear it. You guys, we're chatting it up with Andre Taylor. He's a digital marketing strategist with TaylorMade Solutions. He's going to give you more information about that as we go through the show. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sakoni Prince. He says, "What's up,
What up,
fellas?"
Sakoni? What up?
Thank you for coming in. So please continue to swipe and share this information with other people. Let them know that we are live and on the air. And if you're watching this in replay, which I know you will, because people are just going to tell you how fabulous this show was, just go ahead and put in the comments hashtag replay, and I'll make sure that I'll go back and I'll make sure Andre goes back and looks at all your questions and all your comments and get back to you. We want to thank Vivian
What up,
Nicole
Vivian? What
Vivian,
up?
the VA for the stars is in the house. Thank you for watching. Please
Hey,
go ahead and swipe and share. And Angel, she reiterated what you said. Knowledge is
yes.
not power.
Shout out to
Apply
Angel.
knowledge is power. Hashtag TaylorMade. Hashtag unstoppable. That's what I'm
That's
talking about.
right. That's right. Represent.
You must have trained her well.
Oh, wow.
All right, so let's move from rock bottom. How did you, or what happened in your life? Because I believe that we all have defining moments in our life. We all come to that proverbial fork in the road where we have to make that unstoppable decision. That decision that's going to have us continuing to do the things that we did to get us to rock bottom, or that decision to go in a different way, to leave the past behind and start moving in your purpose. What was that
Absolutely.
defining what was that defining moment for you, or defining moments for you?
Yeah, so what you're saying is absolutely true, and that's the beautiful thing about hitting rock bottom is because now you come to the place where you need to make a decision, and so that's the place that I found myself is okay. I got how I seen it was two choices. Um, One, I can keep going on this downward spiral and things can continue to grow worse and things can uh, be much further, backwards than what I ever imagined it to be. Or two, I could pick myself up by my bootstraps and I could do something about it. And one of the major pivotal points for me was um, the pregnancy of my son. And so, I had some time to think about that long and hard. And I said, you know what? I can be another statistic. I can be the absentee father. I can be that scrub, that loser that doesn't do nothing with their lives. Or I can be a role model. I can be a good father. I can be present in his life. I can be all the opposite things. And this leads me to one of a few points that I want to make on my journey to becoming unstoppable. And the first one is reasons. I believe reasons are crucial for anyone to have any type of success, anyone to turn their life around, anyone who wants to be unstoppable. You have to have good enough reasons to want to do that. And so I found those reasons for me, and one of them was my son. That was a strong enough reason to pull me through all the struggles that were lying ahead, the disappointments, the failures, all that stuff that is inevitable on your journey to becoming unstoppable.
I love it. And it's funny that you mentioned that because again, it not only do I do the show, but I help people become authors through our Unstoppable Publishing Company. And in our recent book that we did, Moving from Past to Purpose, that was one of the stories. That was one of the stories in the book where somebody was prepared to die, but they found reasons to live. And very much like you, one of the reasons that they found in order to live was their children, was the four little ones that they had birthed and created life for. So, how was it? What was that the most powerful reason because of the birth of your son? And how did it change your mindset and your thinking from the person who was just recently at rock bottom into this person that now was motivated to apply some knowledge and go forward?
That's a really good question. And what it did, I believe, is it helped bring clarity. I want to say that again. It helped bring clarity. What I discovered, and the reason I think a lot of us struggle or a lot of us are not having the type of success we want to have, or we're not getting ahead in the way that we want to get ahead in, is because we lack clarity. I can't stress that enough. If you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish, you can go from A to B immediately in an instant. But if you have no clue, you'll go to A to B to C, D, E, F, G, A. You ever see the like they draw
Uh-huh.
those maps
Yeah.
and you're like going at all these different things and you're like,
Right.
oh, boom, I finally made it to where I was trying to go. But I'm a firm believer you don't have to go through all that sometimes. You don't have to deal with all that if you know what it is that you are trying to accomplish. So that's what it was for me. It helped bring that genuine clarity to say, okay, my son is getting ready to be born. I started to project out long term thinking. So I'm like, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, how is it that I want this thing to play out? What is it that I need to do? And that really starts to help crystallize things for you. And that's where a lot of us struggle too. We never think long term thinking, and we never have a tendency to sit down and really map that thing out. If you just stop and you say, okay, 20 years from now, and you just look at all the areas of your life, okay, as far as relationships, where do I want to be? Spiritually, where do I want to be? Financially, if you start to really just put your attention to it, that'll begin to change your thoughts and help bring a heightened level of clarity that you probably never have had if you don't do these type of exercises. So in doing that, taking those reasons, sitting down and starting to think about those things, thinking about how the future should be or could be, or how I want to design my life, that brought the clarity I needed to then, which is my point number two, move into the phase that I call discipline. So now, first I have my reasons. Second, now I need to take those reasons and I need to move them into disciplines. And this is the next phase where a lot of us it's like a choking point because discipline requires hard work. Discipline requires for you to do something that you might feel uncomfortable with doing. And that's where I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, essentially. I had to be comfortable with doing things that are the things I wasn't used to doing. It wasn't my routine. It wasn't my habit. But what I realized was this: there's certain habits that people have that I aspire to, and they don't match my own. You know what I'm saying? So obviously there's a disconnect. Like I need to do what the person's doing that is modeling the type of lifestyle I want to live. I need to bring their habits into my life.
I love it. And we talk about that. We talk about the fact that you can't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect to have a different result. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the discipline. You have to be willing to understand that to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to do some different things and you're going to have to give up some things. So I love how you said that. And we both have mentors. We both have people that we inspire to be at their level. I'm not going to say be like, because I don't want to be the next somebody else. I want to be the best me. And I'm sure that's the same way for you as well. But I do want to kind of live the lifestyle and be able to walk in that fulfillment like other people that I see who are fulfilled in their life. Would you say that's the same for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I don't want, I've come to this place in life, like, and this wasn't always the case. Before, I would look to other people and say, oh, wow, if I could only live like that, or I could only do that. But I've actually graduated since then and came to the place in my life where I don't want anything that is for anybody else. I don't want what you have, how you have it, that kind of stuff. I only want what God would have for me. I'm a firm believer that God gives us the desire of our hearts, which means that there's certain things that are placed inside of Terrence that are not placed inside of Andre or anybody else. There's certain things that may wake you up at night or wake you up in the morning that don't wake me up. And so to me, what it's about is identifying the desires of your heart truly in a genuine way, and then going after those desires and fulfilling I call it being obedient.
Yes.
So I'm about to go to church here in a second.
All right.
Because this is what
Look
the
like
problem is.
To me.
What happens, Sarah, is people know what the Holy Spirit ministers to their heart. Like God gives you those things in your heart. But what happens is we cancel those things out. And how we do that is we say, who am I to dream this big, or who am I to drive this type of car, or who am I to help these tens of thousands of people, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't have all the skill set and the resources. So this is what happens. We void or we cancel out the calling that is on our life. And in doing so, we not only do a disservice to ourselves, but we do a disservice to those that we are meant to touch, to the lives that we're meant to bless. And so I think we're kind of getting off a little bit, but
no, you're absolutely
what I'm trying to illustrate is that, once you have the desires, right, it's about you being obedient. That's what God has said, I want you to do. He said, okay, I'm going to put things inside of you. And then how you praise me, how you acknowledge that, how you worship me is that you be obedient, and your response is yes and amen. And not just in word, but also in deed.
In action.
See, in action, yes. And that's what we get caught up at, because we know what we should be doing. It's in there, but we're like afraid or whatever. We allow the enemy to come in to steal, to kill, and destroy what it is that God has placed on the inside of us. And so I guess I was just bold enough or hit rock bottom enough to say, okay, I know what it feels like to kind of do what's the scripture says you only can serve, you
One
know,
master. Yeah.
exactly. You're gonna
Yeah.
serve God, or you're gonna serve the
Right.
sin, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm like, I tried the sin thing, I tried the serve worship in the evil part. I'm like, I don't like that too much. I don't think that's gonna work out for me too well. Let me
Absolutely.
go ahead and try with God's plan, God's way. And
Wow.
as you would have it, God put certain people along my path, and I call them divine connections. I don't think anybody that I'm connected to is by mistake or is it an
Absolutely.
accident. There's
No
a
happenstance.
billions of people, right? Like you only meet certain people throughout your entire lifetime. It's really limited to the people you connect with. And God put some people in my life that helped to transform my life forever, forever.
Absolutely.
But I had to be in a place to receive.
Mm,
You
mm.
know,
And many times there's many stories in the Bible as we're talking to Pastor Andre Taylor of TaylorMade Solutions. There are many stories in the Bible of where people had to hit rock bottom first in order for God to speak to them, to reshape them and mold them and make them into now the person that He wanted them to be with the purpose that He had created them for. So it is no accident that you had to go through rock bottom. It's no accident that I had to hit rock bottom. It's no accident that Angel in the chat room maybe hit rock bottom, that Maureen hit rock bottom, that Larry Williams hit rock bottom. It's no accident. But like I said earlier, rock bottom looks different for Andre than it did for Terrence because Andre is on a different path and a different purpose than Terrence. But oh, look at God. God is so great and so good that He can put you on a different path and a different purpose, and me on a different path and a different purpose. And everybody who's watching this show may be on a different path and a different purpose, but He intersects us in that heavenly highway so that I can get from you what I need from you, and you can get what you need from me, and Angel can get what she gets from her, and Vivian can find the clarity that she needs so that Maureen can take the action that she needs so that we can all move forward in our purpose and,
absolutely,
and be unstoppable. I love it.
absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So, and you know what? We could talk for another hour, but we're not going to do that because you've got another point. You talked about the reasons, you talked about the discipline, but now you've got a third point that you want to talk about, and I love this. I love this. It's called grit. Man,
AKA the
what's that
grind.
grit all about?
It's all about the grind. It's all about hard work. I heard once recently that when you're just trying to make a name for yourself, you're trying to get established. The number one thing that you need to get known for is your grind. And I believe in reputation is worth more than rubies, jewels, and gold and that kind of stuff. Your reputation needs to precede you, and it needs to be one of the grind. And a lot of people again get caught up on this part because opportunity comes clothed in what they say overalls and looks like hard work. What I'm saying? So we miss those things that are for us because we're not serious about putting in the necessary work that's required in order to bring those things to fruition. And this is something I hold dear and true to my heart. And I think the scripture even says like work is a gift.
Mm,
Work is a gift from God. It's a blessing. And so a lot of us get caught into the trap of thinking that hard work is like inherently bad or it's, what I'm saying, it's too much and stuff like that. No, God said work is a blessing. Work gives you purpose. Work sharpens your skills. It refines your character. It helps build you into becoming a better woman, a better man. And so
yes.
this is something to be embraced. It's something to really fall in love with on your journey to becoming unstoppable. You gotta have that grit and that grind. That's where, to me, you enter into miracle territory. And I think it was like the Master Key of Riches is a program. It's like a spinoff of Napoleon Hill, and that program was saying that when you put in the work and you grind and you give more of yourself and you don't get an immediate payment for what you're doing, then what you're doing is just storing up interest for the future. And to
Mm,
be more specifically, you're storing up compound interest. And
yes.
for my financial people out there, if you don't know what compound interest is, I'm gonna break it down two seconds. Compound interest is unfair interest. That means I can put money in and I can not only get back, 1%, but I can get back 2%, 5%, 10%, 20%. I can get back a return that's far greater than what I ever invested in the first place. And that's what happens when you have a grind and you have work and you're not seeing that immediate payoff. Because this is where I found myself. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm at a glass ceiling, or I'm not getting compensated. I think a lot of people deal with this. I'm not getting the type of money I should be getting paid right now. But if you faint not in well doing, if you remember to stay unstoppable through all the hardship and the pain and the frustration, it's truly frustration. And frustration will get you uh, distracted, and
Absolutely.
distraction will pull you
It
off
can
of
make you
what
give
your
up.
purpose is. Exactly. And that's how the enemy that's what the enemy wants. So you got to realize that it's a blessing in you working hard and giving extra and giving your all. And if you don't see it right away, you should celebrate all the more, because you're storing up blessings that ain't even come down your way yet. It might be a year, it might be 5 years, but when that payback comes, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
And so I cannot stress that grit enough. Reasons are everything, because they get you going, they get you up in the morning, they get you past the failure. Discipline is what's required, because you got to set goals, you got to put things into a process, and then grit, you got to grind that process out. Once you have clarity, you know what it is that you want to do, and you put in the plan, and then you grind to it. Then once you start receiving the small victories in the beginning, the little wins, that's going to give you that enthusiasm and that energy to go on to the next greater challenge, and the next, and the next, and the next. And once you've moved past all these mountains and these challenges that seemingly impossible to overcome, that's when you, to me, will become unstoppable. Is because you're like, hey, I hit rock bottom, bro. I messed up. I fell off the, you know what I'm saying? I've been there, I've been up, I've been down, I've been through it all. But here I stand today. And so you get into this place, like, I don't know if people truly understand what unstoppable means. It means that no matter what happens, what comes
No
your
matter
way,
what.
nothing is going to stop you or deter you
Absolutely.
from you operating in what God has called you to do. Absolutely nothing. Not people, not situations, not circumstances. And that's how I don't use that word lightly, personally. I don't use that phrase lightly, because it's easy to throw around, but a lot of us, we ain't that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Let's just be real about it.
and I don't either. It's easy to talk, but it's not to walk. And to quote one of our BBS brothers who's in the chat room now, Patrick Artist, I will never forget what he said to me before. He said to me that if the tongue in your mouth doesn't match the tongue in your shoe, then why should I listen to you? And
Mm,
and to
yes.
break it down so that it will forever be broken. If you're not walking the walk, then I'm not going to listen to your talk. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
the
Love it.
reasons come in. What you wouldn't be talking if you didn't have some real reasons, and those reasons are going to
Absolutely.
propel you to be disciplined and to be obedient to what it is that God has for you to do and what it is you are supposed to do. And it's going to give you that motivation to keep gritting and grinding, because it's not going to happen overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success. There's just a lot of nights of overnights of reaching and pushing and working towards that success. And that's why I love the premise of the
Absolutely.
show. As you are here in HD, 1080 pi, about to look at a full moon over the sky because you got it like that. You remind us that you didn't always have it like that. And it's because of the reasons that you found to reach this point, and the discipline you put in to get to this point, and the grind that you continue to do to reach this point, that you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor as you sit here chopping it up on the Unstoppable Story show. So I appreciate how you wrapped that up and you brought that out to our audience. Man, man.
And then you just made me think of something else, which is like I love that you touched on, which is you gotta trust the process instead of rushing the process. Um, and I'm guilty of that because I wanted to fast forward to the end. You're like, hurry up and give me this success or give me this
Absolutely.
accomplishment. But that's another one of those pivotal moments in my life where I had to, like, God dealt with me on that, which is God revealed to me it's all about the process.
Yeah.
It's all about the process. It ain't about the
Yeah.
end result. Like if you get to the end, let's say you set a goal to make $1 million, and then when you get to the $1 million, you're gonna feel good for a moment, a brief little moment of time. But after that moment has passed, then you're gonna be back to the place that you were before you reach that million. So it's not like you ever really get there. And if you do, that's where you plateau. You know what I mean? And you don't realize any more growth or any more success. So it's really about setting the type of goals that will make something of you to accomplish them, and then falling in love with the process towards achieving that goal. It makes all the difference in the world. And that ties into what we're saying here as well. Like you can't set a goal that's so low that it don't require nothing of you to go after it. You know what I mean? Like if you
Absolutely.
say
Yeah.
my goal is to walk to the end of the driveway and you can just
Right.
get out and walk to the driveway, that what is that gonna mean?
What
That's
did you
not gonna
do?
right. How is
Yeah.
that gonna help you be unstoppable?
Right.
It's
And
not.
and let's be clear. The word was fulfillment. If you set your goals so low that you achieve them, and then after you achieve that goal, you don't feel any different than before you
Hmm.
set the goal, then you haven't really achieved that goal. You haven't
Exactly.
fulfilled your goal.
You
Another,
haven't
another one.
arrived.
Another one of our brothers in the who's watching the show, Sakoni Prince, he talks about, are you climbing the wrong mountain? And I want to go back to what you talked about with the $1 million. If I set the goal for me to be a millionaire and that's the only goal I worked for, and then I get to the top of the $1 million mountain and they hand over that briefcase and they give me that $1 million and I don't feel any different
Hmm.
about that $1 million, oh,
Hmm.
that's when I found out that I was climbing the wrong mountain. You see, the right mountain is the mountain of fulfillment. What would fulfill me so that when
Hmm.
I get that $1 million, I can be fulfilled with that $1 million instead of taking money out so I can go get some more prescriptions and get medicated
Absolutely.
because I got headaches and pain because I'm not fulfilled, but I got money.
So true. And like I study like the billionaires. And like I just went to a conference with Tony Robbins, and he was quoting that. He said, I know X amount of billionaires, let's say 20. He's like, only a few of them are truly happy
Absolutely.
because what money is a magnifier. Money only makes you more what you are. And I wanted to touch on that because a lot of us get caught up, as I did, with the money game. You go after money or to accomplish this level of finances, 6 digits, 7 digits, you're doing all this stuff. But is that making you happy? Do you have a real joy in your pursuit? Because you got to realize money is only going to magnify who you already are. So if you have a tendency to drink, now you got enough money to become an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
If you if you like to shop, now you could be a shopaholic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be able to fully express yourself because now the money's gonna give you that power and leverage to be able to do that. And I would say I boldly say this that a lot of people maybe it's not a good idea you get money because you might kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might
And
get cracked out or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
how,
it
how
might be
many
devastating.
how
So
many times on the news do we hear people, millionaires and billionaires,
I'm
jumping out
trying
of
to tell
windows
you.
because money is just a tool. And this is what I say: the tool is only as good as the person who holds it. If I
Absolutely.
give you a tool and you don't know how to use it, then it's useless. And many of us are looking for the tool and not looking for the reason to use the tool. You have the reason already, and then you were equipped with the tools to fulfill your purpose, and you were disciplined, and you were obedient, and you were not afraid to grind. That a grinder is a tool, and even with the grinder, you got to continue to put in work. You just can't put that grinder down there and it does it for you. You've got to guide it, you've got to rotate it, you've got to put more pressure, you've got to learn when to ease off the pressure. Somebody's going to get that when they watch this replay. But in each and all of those things, you've got to continue to not stop. You've got to be unstoppable, knowing that that mountain of fulfillment is out there somewhere, created just for you. And it's got Andre's name on it, and it's got Maureen's name on it, and it's got Terrence's name on it, and it's got Vivian's name on it. But they ain't the same mountain. So you can't climb my mountain trying to get to yours. You've got to put in your own hard work. You've got to have your own discipline. You've got to have your own reasons. And most importantly, you've got to grit and keep going for that grind. Man.
Absolutely.
Andre Taylor. You know what? We have come up so close. I didn't even get a chance to talk about your business. So real quickly, as I put your website up on the screen, tell us about the solutions that are TaylorMade, aka TaylorMade Solutions.
All right. What I got, like 30 seconds? All right. So
I'll let you go a little bit longer. 35.
Essentially, we're creatives. And so I run a marketing and design full service agency. Our target niche is small businesses. And essentially what we do is we help small businesses scale online. And we can do that through strategic marketing plans, through branding, through web design, logo design, so on and so forth, video, promo videos and stuff like that. So we're just a group of people that just love creative arts, digital arts, technology, and helping people to expand their operations in that field, which is definitely extremely important. If you're not in the digital space, call me, inbox me, text me, whatever you got to do. We need to talk. Because if you have any type of business, whether you're one person show or you have a team of 20, and you're saying, hey, we want to continue to be competitive in the marketplace. We want to continue to reach more potential customers, whatever it is, we hope that come to life for people. So that's the short version. We are accepting clients at this time.
Say that
we are accepting clients at this time. It may not always be the case because we're a little more niche. We don't work with just anybody, like our name says, our approach is tailored. And I think it's important that I don't think everybody is for everybody. Like Terrence isn't meant to help everybody, but you're meant to help a few people that are perfect for you. And so that's how we kind of form our relationships, is more like partnerships, the long-term partnerships where we want to come together and we want your success to be our success over the long term, over the next 10, 20 years, of your enterprise, and just build those relationships. To me, that's one of the most important things is healthy and good relationships.
And yes, one of my clients, Maureen, is asking, do you work with nonprofits? Yes, absolutely. He does. So definitely.
We love nonprofits. We give into nonprofits as well.
We're going to connect you with him, Maureen, as we go take you through your process to get to the next level of your greatness as well. How can they get in contact with you? So if they want to talk to you about TaylorMade Solutions, or if they just want to talk to you more about the reasons, the discipline, and the grit that they need to develop to be unstoppable.
You can reach me at 877-647-7362. Our website is tailormade.solutions. Again, that's tailormade.solutions. And then the email is info@tailormade.solutions. And I'm on every social media channel practically, email, text. We're always on, is what I like to say. So you reach out to me anytime you want.
I love it. I love it. So as we send you back down to the green room, so that you can help me stargaze with the full moon after we get off the show, I just want to say, I appreciate you. We met. It hasn't even been 3 years, probably, but it feels like we have known each other for quite some time, and we've been able to work in a couple of different spaces. We have a business relationship together. We've done a
Absolutely.
conference together, and we've just been able to chop it up over the phone late at night together. So I appreciate you. I applaud you for finding your life defining moment, from going from rock bottom up to the top and showing the world how to be unstoppable. And you know what? I pray that you will continue to be fulfilled and blessed in what it is you do, but also that you will be a blessing and help other people fulfill their lives. Appreciate you,
Absolutely.
Andre.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me. Thanks for all tuning in and watching us now and in the future. Love y'all.
All right. So put your information, put your phone number and your website in the comment section as we send you back down to the green room. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Andre Taylor of TaylorMade Solutions. Check him out if you are looking to get in the digital space and to have a bigger presence in the digital space. He is the man for you. Well, you guys, I thank you so much for watching. As always, without you, there is no show. And I hope these unstoppable stories bless you. I hope they motivate you. I hope they push you to go be fulfilled in your life and not to be stopped, but to be unstoppable. And recognize that there are going to come times in your life, things are going to happen that, like this past weekend, shocked me to my core and really stopped me. There's not many things that stop me, but that stopped me. But today's another day. And if he hasn't called you home, then he's giving you another day to get it right. He's giving you another day to find your reasons to walk in your purpose. He's given you another day to work on your obedience and to work on your discipline. And he's given you another day to be grinding towards your destiny. Because here's some things that I know. You know, if you keep giving of yourself, if you keep grinding, if you keep pushing forward, then as the good book says, give and it shall be given unto you, and he will give you a blessing that you just won't have room to hold. And he may not give you that blessing today. He may not give you that blessing tomorrow. He may not give you the blessing in the way that you want to be blessed. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that his plan, his gifts, his blessing has always been better than whatever I had asked for or whatever I had hoped for. And I know if he can do it for me, he can do it for you too. But you've got to put in some work, because faith without works is what? It's dead. So find your reason to walk in your purpose. Find your reason to be unstoppable. Decide that you're going to be disciplined and you're going to be obedient to becoming unstoppable, and keep grinding and rising to the top until you can actually say that I am unstoppable. That's our show for this Tuesday night. Please join us each and every Tuesday night for the Unstoppable Stories show with Terrence Leftridge, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. And before I leave out, I want to just leave you with music from another one of our phenomenal people that was at the Power of We event this past weekend. Her name is Pia Renee. You can find her on all social media under Pia Renee. Her CD is called The Return. And so as we leave out tonight, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of her track. And until next week, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say: don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day. Take care.
I'm here to give you music from my heart again. I miss you, my people. Wish I was in tune without my fans, but all the confusion on the land. Looking at these dudes like I don't want to live. Just focus on music in my heart again. This bass guitar keeps me high. Thank you, God, for giving me right. This gift you gave me got me feeling fly. Might not get everything I want, but at least I try. I wish we had more peace in the shine. With every breath that I breathe, I'ma make a way. Take every step on my seat. I'm the latest, baby. My day to day been crazy. So music take me to a place we embrace peace on the daily. Won't kid you, I live through a cruel environment. They'll kill you if it gets cool. You move them fools with violence. They cool, screws loose. Who's doing the inspiring? Love my people, but I had to move out the environment. This music take me on a ride. Far beyond what's in the sky. Around those that wanna see me rise. Why? When the sun wanna leave me dry. Be careful who you trust in with your life. With every breath that I breathe, I'ma make a way. Take every step on my seat. I'm an angel, baby. My day to day been crazy. So music take me to a place we embrace